Hey guys, thanks so much for inviting me back on the show. I know I was slightly critical last time I was on the show, but I think Destiny might be in the best spot it's been in years.
Oh, I know, man. It's fucking fantastic.
You know, I've heard nothing but great things this season. I really do need to come back to it, I think.
You know, one of my life's greatest pleasures in this game is to do nothing but bounties and advance the character.
Yeah, guys, it's absolutely the best. You know, I tried my hand at trials. I never made it to one win because I was playing some guys that were named, and they were really, really good though. And they had this armor that glowed and it looked all gold and shit. It was a great 6 hours though.
Damn it, Gator. You gave him way too much Kool-Aid.
Guardian down.
What's up, everybody, and thanks for hanging out with us today. Welcome to episode 37 of Guardian Downcast. We're a couple of dads that talk about all things in the Destiny universe. We interview content creators and other folks in our community to find out more about them, and finally, discuss other things in gaming and entertainment as well. I'm your host, The Gator, and my co-host, Mr. Hazel, is here as well. How you doing, man? How's your week been?
It's been all right. Just waiting to get my new headset for work so that way I can do the whole work from home thing.
Was that the thing you were missing that you couldn't go in and get?
Yeah, exactly.
How
they
about
told me
that?
Absolutely no way in hell was I allowed on the premises. So it's like, okay, well, I'll listen to you.
Wow, that's
So,
crazy.
and-
How's the family?
Doing good, doing good. They had a little dance party tonight, so got to hear my 4.5-year-old daughter sing Seven Rings, which, for those of you that don't know, it's basically like a big like female empowerment song. So I'm just like, oh my god, I got my hands full. I don't know how this whole thing's gonna play out. but I put on my UGG boots and I was very basic today. I made some Dalgona coffee.
Oh,
It's
boy.
this thing that's been going around and been seeing it everywhere. A friend of mine texted me and said, hey, you got to try this. So for those of you that don't know, basically you take instant coffee, sugar, and water, mix the shit together for about 30 fucking minutes. Then you just put that on top of milk, stir it up, and then it tastes halfway decent.
What the hell?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought my Folgers was bad. Holy shit, that's terrible, man.
Yeah, it's like trying to take something, I don't know.
Is that trying to make
And-
homemade cold brew or something?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, shit.
Yeah. So I took one for the team there, and it's not all it's cracked up to be. I was bored. In case you
I'm
didn't.
sorry, I just want to chime in for a second. Is that like a Facebook challenge shit thing going on there? Like, why would you do that? Did someone force you at gunpoint? You can tell us.
It was just peer pressure, actually, and being quarantined for fucking 21 days.
He's
So-
losing it. He's losing at 30, in other words.
Yeah, I'm losing it. I'm resorting to Instagram posts for like inspiration and ways to
Jeez.
to stay active and things like that.
Jeez.
Sorry, I couldn't stay silent anymore when I heard that.
Yeah, Sarge already left. Yeah.
Sarge is out.
No, I'm remaining silent. I've got so much to say about that.
Wow, that is discipline. That is discipline. Well, my week, it's I'm considered a quote essential business, so I'm work as usual. You know, I thought I'd have a 2 to 3 week video game vacation, and nope. My wife's here. She's cracking the whip. When are you gonna get to work? When are you gonna get to work? Yeah, I'm going soon, very soon. So, well, a good deal, guys. I'm very excited to introduce our guests to the show tonight. They're the two brothers who make up the Generation X Gaming podcast, which recently celebrated their 200th episode. Our friends 30 and Still Gaming and his older brother Sergeant McCluskey. How you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Doing well. Hanging in there.
Yeah, this is surreal, isn't it? And my wife says, if I have to hear another commercial about in these hard times or in these unstable times or in these weird times or whatever, she's up to her eyeballs. She's heard so many commercials about that. She's over it.
Yeah, you gotta stop watching TV.
I mean, I'm just recording this from my bunker in good old Florida.
Yeah, exactly. The Mexican beer thing, right?
That's it.
I tell you what, ever since 30 and Still Gaming was here on episode 22 back in December of last year, if you remember, I've been hard at work trying to coordinate these two Goonies to get here. And both you guys could talk on the same show. And I'm so glad we can make this happen tonight. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being on tonight. I'm really
it takes an apocalypse to get us together, but you're welcome.
I was just gonna say thanks COVID-19.
Right, trying to get us our schedules together. We just secret. I'm the one that started COVID-19, so I could get us all here.
Good job.
We could do this podcast. Yeah.
Good job, man. Good job.
I wasn't sure if it was you, Nintendo, or Disney.
I think it actually was Disney.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Well, hey, just an overview of tonight's show. We got a lot to do tonight. We're going to catch up with these guys, and since we've already heard 30 and Still Gaming's story, we'd like to hear Sergeant McCluskey's story. So maybe get in a few childhood brotherhood stories, maybe as well for Lucky. Next, Hazel's going to go over the TWAB for this week. Finally, we're going to answer Twitter and Discord questions from our community and add 2 songs each from everyone here to our Guardian Downcast playlist on Spotify and now iTunes. All right, you guys ready to do this?
Sure am.
Let's do it. All right, well, let's start out with Mr. Sergeant McCluskey here. Sarge, tell a little bit about yourself. What do you do? I know you're the older brother of 30 and Still Gaming, and you're the yin to his yang, I guess you could say, on your podcast. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Massive underachiever. I started off at, let's see, I've been gaming since probably I was 5 or 6.
Wow.
I guess my life starts in New York. Grew up in Elmont, Long Island. Was there for about 8 years. Then my parents decided to come down to Florida to make a go of things. Mm-hmm. And we were brought down here in like 82. Ever since then, it's been pretty much separate but equal type things between my brother and I. I mean, when you're 4 years apart, you're not in the same schools. Yeah. So you have different friend circles. So it got a little rough about halfway through into the teens. And then it was pretty much icy for a while until he turned 21. And then we went to Vegas. And then we ironed everything out.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah. As far as profession... I've done a lot of things. My first career job was Video Extron, which was the precursor to Blockbuster.
Okay.
So I was in Blockbuster for maybe 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
I was assistant manager at one point at that Blockbuster, and then I took a little hiatus because management really wasn't my thing. I was in the no man's land for a while. Then my brother got me a job at Boomers, which is one of those entertainment complexes where you take the kids go-karts, golfing, and video games.
Yeah,
it's like Fun Spot.
Yeah, back where video games were actually a thing outside the home before gaming was a big deal.
Yeah, they actually had these wooden things that had a television screen on them.
They were the most amazing things.
Yes. Listen, Hazel. Listen closely, man. You're gonna learn something tonight.
Yeah.
Are you in the great state of Florida, or what state are you in a nation?
State of mind, I'm alcoholic. Physical state, I'm in Florida.
Bravo.
South Florida.
Nice. Bravo.
Nice.
It's pretty much a short description, but the chapters of each of those points is long.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
No, we just want to get just a general gist, a general picture. We're going to deep dive. Please. Trust me, we're going to deep dive.
You kind of touched on a little bit about your gaming history, so you want to go into that anymore?
Sure. I've been playing video games since the beginning of video games. I am that old. So there was I don't remember the exact name. I want to call it the Odyssey, but I've yet to find it in a Google listing.
Odyssey.
It was a silver metal box, and it had 4 knobs, one in each of the corners, and it had 3 switches. One switch switched to the 4 games that the game had. Basically, it was tennis, hockey, Pong, and an IndyCar game. Now, basically, it was 3 of the same game, an IndyCar game, basically.
Right. It was 6 pixels with 1 pixel somewhere moving in between. Yeah.
Yeah. The original. We all played Pong. We all know what Pong is. But the indie game was kind of cool. The game starts and it's 4-player, right? Everyone's got a little knob, and the car starts to move faster and faster as long as you don't touch another car or the wall. And so you learn to go around the track, right? So that was like the first gaming experience I've had other than being taken to a video arcade. Like that was the first home-based gaming.
Did you live there like I did and spend all your paychecks?
When I was younger, I wasn't in New York for that long. Like from like birth to 8 years old is not really a long time, but like from like 6 to 8, we ran around picking up bottles and cans and turning them in to get quarters to play video games.
Right.
That's what we did.
I did that too. Yeah,
Yeah.
The bottles. Yeah.
Yes, bottles and cans gave you a nickel a piece or whatever, and so we used to clean up the streets, our neighborhood, and then go turn the stuff in and use the quarters to play the video games at like the pizza parlor or whatever was nearby.
Pizza Hut. Yep.
Yeah.
That was my first console game. Was Space Invaders at Pizza Hut. My dad couldn't pull me out of there. It was crazy,
I'm
man.
telling you, man, it was something else. When you stood next to those magic boxes when you were a kid, it was something else.
The lights, the little figures moving around, it just was mesmerizing.
I think it was Space Invaders, but I don't think it was called Space. It was called Galaxian. That was That was the first one I remember with the little. I know all the sound effects to the damn machine. Like that's how much I played it.
Yeah.
Galaga was like the sequel to it. It was Galaga, but Galaxian was like the older school version.
Galaga is one of my favorite console arcade games of all time.
Yeah.
I loved it. Next to Punch Out. Punch Out was my.
We call those cabinet games, Gator.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know the correct term. I'm trying to be PC here. I don't want to disturb Hazel.
The Punch Out game was incredible. People used to actually lift the game off the damn floor from punching so hard.
I remember that. I remember. I'm sorry.
Were the other games?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Like, were the other ones then? If those are like, cabinet games, then what the ones with the glass top? Because I remember playing
like tabletop games. Yeah.
Cocktail tables.
Those are cocktail tables. Yeah.
The bars where people used to be able to drink and smoke, and used to put your drink and ashtray on the table, and you guys used to play. It was always a cooperative game or a challenge game.
Yeah, because I played my mom at Pac-Man at this pizza joint that was like near us.
Remember,
so
when it was your turn, it would flip to the other person across from the table. It was really cool.
Yep. They're actually very rare now. People try to, for people that are nostalgic, they try to find a couple like as an old school game. But they're really rare. They're more rare than the cabinets are.
Wow. Crazy. And so, obviously, the arcade years and stuff. I mean, did you go the Atari and on up route?
There was a couple that we skipped. I mean, we've played them, and we might have had them for a little while, and then they went off to the side. But we've pretty much had every system since the beginning of systems.
That is crazy, man. Wow.
My parents did well when we were younger. Like we weren't like rich, but my parents did well, and
we definitely weren't rich.
Yeah, they spoiled us. They liked the gadget stuff. Like even when we were kids, we had. If you look it up, maybe you'll be able to find it. But we had like a 6-foot long bowling alley that was electronic.
Yeah,
I remember that.
That had no pins. It had just these.
It was a hologram.
The glass frame was in the front and made it look like there were pins, and you rolled the ball down the real alley with real wood, and it would roll against the little buttons, and by the way the ball rolled against the buttons would cause it to be a split, a strike, or whatever, and then the ball would actually come back down to you.
Yep.
Like that thing was insane, right? As a kid, you had a bowling game in your fucking house. Like that to me was insanity.
Dude, you guys had it made.
We also had a pinball machine in our room.
Oh.
Yes, I did have. It wasn't like the ones you can think about, like the full blown nutty ones, like the full
double deckers and stuff,
like the beginner series of pinball machine that a kid I would have.
It was like a smaller version, a little bit smaller.
Yes.
Now were your parents gamers? Or I mean, did they like board games and all kinds of games like that, or?
During our adolescence, I mean, they played like the basic games with us. Like they knew how to play. Like the one that I remember playing a lot with my brother and my father. We used to have like tournaments. Was the Atari Tennis.
Okay.
That and the bowling.
And the bowling game, like that was like that we used to play like for hours, challenging each other.
Dude,
like,
that
my
bowling
dad had
game
good
was
reflexes for like Atari. You couldn't give him like a Nintendo controller. It's too crazy.
That's the sound of the ball.
I remember that.
Throw it down it. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That was the Atari game would do that. Yeah.
When it knocked down the pins.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
those 8 pixels would split into 16. It was crazy.
All right, well let me
pixels.
let me move on to our next question because I know we got a lot to talk about tonight.
Please.
Give us one gaming memory in your past that maybe had an impact on you where everything just clicked, or where you can definitely solidly remember, I'm definitely going to game the rest of my life, or something to that effect.
It was the Leisure Shoot Larry, wasn't it, Sarge?
Leisure Shoot Larry?
Do you want the earliest memory? Like
What?
the earliest memory?
Whatever memory you want. It's up to you.
God, I can pretty much go pretty far back. Okay, so I have 2.
Okay.
One was playing Pac-Man on the Atari with my cousin, and we were telling a story about the Pac-Man while we were playing it, and we went into this detailed thing about who he was, why he was there, what the ghosts were, and we were playing and we were telling a story, and we started laughing to the point where he threw up from laughing too hard. He threw up from laughing too hard. And I basically couldn't breathe from laughing too hard. That was a definite one that it clicked in for fun with gaming. Like, that's always been in there.
Right.
The other one I have is probably like a year later where I was really good at asteroids.
Oh,
and
yes.
I flipped the game to where the score was just 9s across the board, and there were a lot of digit places in that Atari game.
Yeah, there was.
And I basically played it till the game couldn't keep score anymore. And I took a picture of it. I took one of the I know, old style camera, took a picture, and then eventually got developed. It's somewhere in the house where there's this picture of just a screen with a score on it.
Dude, if you ever come across it, send that screenshot to us. We want to see it.
But from the amount of time to play a game, it solidified to that it's something that I was really passionate about and enjoyed my alone time playing a video game.
All right, I got to ask you, how long did you wait in line at Sears to get that Pac-Man game for Atari?
You know, I wasn't really the gimme kid.
Yeah.
But like, we would always drop hints throughout the year which game we wanted to our parents, and my mother never lets us down with the story about how much she paid for Yar's Revenge.
Oh yeah, I remember that game. That was a great game, man.
Yeah, it was a very rare game at the time, and she looked all over to get it, and I forget where she got it, but she never stopped about. Now you don't. This is 19.
Don't tell the price. Let them guess.
1982. Guess how much the Yar's Revenge was in 1982?
$79.99.
You're actually pretty close. It's like, yeah, that's it.
They were crazy.
Really?
They were crazy price back then. I know.
And people bitch about $60 right now.
Yeah, don't get me started, 30. Don't get me started, man.
Yeah, she never let us down about how much she paid for Yar's Revenge. Now, that at the time we got it, like, it had its own comic book inside it. It was amazing, and we always attached ourselves to like whatever the story was. Like, the game itself didn't show what it actually meant to be. You know, the graphics back then. But the comic book talked about what the little guy was and why you're playing and what you have to do, and it connected you to the game. That's why for me, story with a game is everything. Right? But $79 all the time is all we hear from my mom. Remember that game I paid $79 for? And I'm like, yes. Remember, you always remind us.
It's burned in our brain, Mom.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Well, just so you know, so it's not a spoiler or anything like that, but we are a Destiny podcast. So how did you find Destiny?
Oh, man. We watched the precursor to that game coming out for like a year and a half, waiting for that game to come out. Because the way they talked about it is the way we always just talked about what a game like that would be.
Still waiting.
So once they started talking like that and we heard it, we were like, man, they know what we're talking about. We got to follow this game. All the games leading up to Destiny all had specific, I guess, commonalities with each other. They just weren't all in the same game. And Destiny looked like they paid attention. They were going to put all the things in the game that were meant to be there.
We were playing Defiance before Destiny came out, and there was public events and stuff in Defiance that had like 50 to 100 people at a public event. Let me say that again, just for those people that are thinking I'm delusional. There was 50 to 100 people in a public event in a game that was out before Destiny, and it wasn't an MMO, and yet Destiny was like, look, we could bring 16 people into a public event, which then we know it only went down to like 9.
Right.
And you can never hop over that wall. I know. You know what wall I'm talking about.
I know the wall.
It's a universe with glass with ceilings. You know how that works.
Mm-hmm.
But it hooked us because, or hooked me especially. I can't speak for my brother, but it hooked me because it put the imagination of what a video game could be in your house. Like because I'm always a big fan of sci-fi. Like I like games based in reality, but if a guy can write a good sci-fi game, like and have a good mechanics and just be enthralled with the game itself, like I'm in. Like Mass Effect was always a favorite series of mine. You know, any of the Gears series is a favorite of mine. Halo, like all the sci-fi stuff, I'm into because I'm into the what mankind could be. Like where could we go besides the shithole that we're in now? Like what are we aspiring to do? And those games give tastes of those.
Wow. Well, yeah, we can go down that rabbit hole for the whole show. We can talk the whole show that way. Because I know you guys. Every time I watch you guys get onto Destiny, and 30 thinks he's just going to skim over the news, and all of a sudden you guys deep dive into Destiny. I'm like, there they go.
Yeah, 45 minutes later. Yeah,
exactly. Oh, we're over, guys. Sorry, we're over again. Let me ask
a little bit.
Let me ask you this, Sarge, dude. What's up with the gamer tag?
Okay, so a lot of people think that I was in the military, and that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
It started originally because the first multiplayer game, like a massive multiplayer, well, not massive, but like a lot of people playing, was Battlefield 1942.
Oh, yeah.
Like I had played video games on a computer before. Like I was into the Command and Conquer series and like those kind of real-time strategy games, like Total Annihilation. But when Battlefield 1942 came out, my brother mentioned it to me, and I didn't really catch on to like what it really was. But the minute I started playing it, I'm like, this is fucking amazing. I'm in World War II. Now, it stems from the fact that I was a history major, okay? And so I love history. And I specialized in American history pre up to World War II. Like, so I'm all about it. Like anything has to do with World War II or history, I'm all about. And the game was just so fun. Even though you couldn't destroy the environments, you were playing against 26, 36 other people, and everybody's driving tanks and planes. And it's like, whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it. And you're like, what? I could just go into the Jeep and drive it around? Yep. I could just go in the plane and fly it around? Yep. I could put dynamite on the Jeep and drive it into a tank and blow it up? Yep. Like all that stuff. And I was like, I'm in. So I needed a tag to play the game. And so I had a bunch of names in mind. I kept putting them in, and they're all taken. They kept all taken. And so I thought to myself, all right, so I'm into history. I'm into war. What can I pick? And so Sergeant McCluskey is the guy in every war movie who ends up eating it, doing something brave.
That's true. That's true.
There's always some guy screaming McCluskey, and he either blows up or throws himself on a grenade, or he always does something to help somebody else in the game, but he's like the hero that ends up dying. So that's where I got the game. That's where I got the.
That is classic.
Yeah,
Hazel, I think I got to give that one the best explanation of so far.
So far, yeah, definitely.
Damn.
He's the one that dies, so the final girl can be inspired. So
Nice.
Yeah.
So is 30 the final girl?
not a lot of people.
No, Destiny is.
Don't talk about my girlfriend that way.
Well, that's what it is. That's what it is, Gator. She's everyone's.
I know. All right. I don't want to go down that wormhole yet.
So, do you have any other hobbies besides gaming?
Oh, let's see. Many years ago, when I had the time and patience, I was a tabletop gamer. I played Warhammer 40K, Warhammer Fantasy. I played Warhammer Epic back when Epic was still around. That's the one where the figures are smaller, but you have like massive amounts of armies. Board gamer, yes, but it's very hard to find people that actually want to play board games because I'm competitive and I want to win. And so you have to be at the right frame of mind to play a game with me. So, I mean, as far as hobbies, gaming pretty much was solidified for many years, but board gaming is also in there. Like I started with checkers and chess. and then I've always been a strategical war game person. But I've played all the classic war games throughout the years. I just stopped playing the American roll and move games because they're boring. It's like reading books. Like once you start reading a lot of books, you have to get a more intricate book that makes you interested in it. The younger books or the older books that you've already read, like they don't hold your attention anymore. Same thing with other media. Like I need a challenging game that I can play with friends.
Let's just say growing up, our dining room table was either, was it Axis and Allies, Fortress America, Shogun.
Yeah, the war game series from back, the Milton Bradley game series from back in like the late 80s, mid to late 80s. I had all those. Yeah.
Mom couldn't make dinner. She's like, you have to get this. You have to get this off the table. We're having family. No, we still have another game, another 2 hours at least.
Yeah, I spent many years playing Axis and Allies. Gaming, yes. Hobbies, like I when I was younger, I was an outside kid. We were only allowed in the house when it was raining. That was the rules back when we were children. When we got down to Florida, it was so nice out all the time. We were outside most of the time, but if we were inside, we were gaming.
Nice. Yeah, that's the way. I played baseball. I was kind of a gaming nerd and into sports, and all I could think about when I played Little League and baseball is I can't wait to get home and get the next level of Pac-Man done or whatever game it was.
That's the same mentality.
Always on the mind.
Agree. Yes.
And I came from chess and checkers too. My dad taught me how to play chess. We would sit after dinner for hours playing chess, and I still remember those nights. Mm-hmm. So I understand your strategy, the way you like strategy games and stuff. So
you have to know how to play chess and checkers. I think if you're a kid now and don't know how to play those, you're robbing yourself.
You're handicapped.
Well, checkers is a given, right?
Yeah.
It teaches win-loss to a child, how to win and lose real quick, and what the basic moves are. Chess is like next level stuff. You have to have the patience to want to play chess.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It teaches patience among other things. But yes.
Well, I got a question for you here. I relate to you guys a lot because I have a younger brother as well. And I think 30 kind of represents my younger brother. And I relate more to you, Sarge, because you're the older brother. And even though my brother is only 2 years between us, it's pretty much the same. I mean, we're both a little bit older than both you guys, but not by much. But I wanted to ask you, what is it like to be the oldest brother? And I can probably fill in the blanks for you, but I want to hear you say it. What's it like to be the older brother in the family?
I mean, at first it wasn't really like a title to me.
Mm-hmm.
It was just two people living in a house.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Your mental state as you get older, you start to identify what it really means as you get older. You identify more of it. Mm-hmm. So for me, I didn't realize what kind of influence I had on him until I was making him feel like shit. Like I didn't realize that he always looked up to me. He was always like the little brother hanging around. I didn't want him to hang around, but I never recognized that he wanted to be around me. Like he liked being around me. And so for years, I pushed him away. And so I never put it together that I was supposed to be more of a beacon and be a leader. Instead, I was just a guy with a nuisance attached. And it took me years to finally iron out the wrinkles and understand how much my brother actually loved me, as opposed to it just being a guy who lived in a house. And it took many years to figure it out. Like and over the years, he's been more of the leader than I have been. So I've learned from him over the years. It's kind of done like a little role reversal. So I think I knew my place. I didn't know my place before. I knew my place after. And then I have switched places since then.
Well, any brotherhood stories to come to mind?
Oh, I mean,
I know we don't have all night, but it's maybe one good one
in there. I mean, like the good, the bad, the ugly type of story.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, we always played together. I think it was when I started reaching teenage years when it was separate but equal type things. Like each had their own friends, so we weren't really around each other as much. But when we were kids, we were always together.
Okay.
Like we were outside playing whatever war or
we shared a room. We shared a room for
forever.
For a long time.
Right. There was the bunk bed deal.
Right.
I mean, there was the one time where I thought he had like an asthma attack or something. We were playing tennis, and that was the first time I realized that I was attached to my brother, like how much I actually cared for him when I was riding with him in the ambulance.
Right.
That happened, I think, maybe when I was like 10 or 11.
Okay.
It was like kind of scary, but like it made me, grow more and like to understand that this is family. Like this is your brother. It's not just two people living together. It's kind of surreal when you identify that way. Before, it's no big deal. It's like it's a given. It's like you're just here. But when you thought you were going to lose him, then you realize how close you actually are.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a time where he got hit in the head with a rock. It was bleeding. He had like a gash on his head.
Well, no, I fell down a hole on a construction site.
All right, you fell into a hole.
Oh my God.
We were a lot of kids that played in construction sites. We either shoot firecrackers at each other, or threw rocks at each other. We were using the houses as trenches.
We used to shoot BB guns at each other.
Yeah, we did too.
Yeah,
we did too.
We did shoot BB guns at each other.
Not soft pellet, like
the metal ones.
Straight up metal BB guns.
Oh yeah, I had one in my thigh. I could see it right below the skin. And I was like, you better F and run, bud. I'm coming.
I do remember the time where he stabbed me in the back with a pencil, and
I did.
Oh my God.
It stuck in my back, and I couldn't get it out.
Here's the worst part. I didn't mean to do it. He was telling me a bedtime story, and we were sitting upstairs on the bunk, on my top bunk, and I had a pencil, he was sitting up, and I had the pencil behind him, but I was grasping it like you would hold a knife, right? And it was pointing up, and then he leaned back, and the pencil was really sharp, and it went clean right through his back. And it took like a split second for him to feel it, and then he was just like, ah! And I was like, oh my god, and then my mom had to pull it out, and when she looked, I remember it to this day, I looked in, I was like, oh my god, it wasn't bleeding, it was weird, it was like
a puncture.
Yeah, it was a puncture. And it was like not bleeding, and then she's like, "Okay, everything's fine." I was like, "I can see your back."
Oh my god!
Yeah, I'm running around the house with a pencil dangling from my back.
Oh my god!
Screaming for my mother.
It was in there. It was in there a good, I would say, half an inch. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's the childhood ones. Though the ones that were when we were older, though, the Vegas one I could talk about, but that's a different show.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah, that's a different show. We can talk about that off.
Maybe in a future episode.
Yeah.
We could teach you how to go to Vegas with $400 and no room.
Oh my god.
We could teach you.
Oh wow.
Huh. Wow. Sounds well thought out.
There's a lot of memories there. I mean, the ones that fade away, they fade away. But the ones that were meaningful, if I sat and pondered for a moment, I could bring them up.
Oh, absolutely.
I could bring them up.
No, I just wanted to get a few from you guys because you guys have such good chemistry on your show, and we'll segue here to your podcast because we have a ton of questions about that as well.
Sure.
But you guys have such good chemistry, and I'll start off, Hazel. I know when you guys had your 200th episode, I went back and watched your very first episode on YouTube.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Dude, no, you guys were pretty sharp for your first episode. Yes, audio wasn't probably the best, and your segues, you guys were definitely swimming. I mean, you were swimming, but dude, you really haven't changed your mojo. You haven't really changed what you do in your podcast since then. And do you remember what the date was on your very first episode? Do you remember?
Yeah, May 24th, 2015. Wow.
Well, let me start with this. What made you guys decide to take the plunge and do this? I mean, you have your podcast, you have gaming stories, and then you rant about it. I mean, it's kind of you talk about what's going on in gaming, and then you rant or not complain, but maybe express both points of view from each of you.
Yeah, we complain.
Well, I don't. Whatever that sauce is, man, it works because you guys just work off of each other so well. But what made you guys decide to even do this to begin with?
That's me. That's I've been asking him for years because we come up with stories and things. We used to do little skits when we were kids. What was the skit that we used to do? It was not necessarily the news, but what was that? We used to tape record them on.
Yeah, we record them on tape. It was called tape. News Impossible.
Yeah, News Impossible.
Yeah, kids, there were these things called tape recorders back in the day.
Tape recorders, yeah. This is before CDs, yes. and we would record these things, and it was always a blast. We'd have friends over, we just do skits and stuff like that. And then I've always been interested in radio. I've loved talk radio. I listened to Howard Stern. I listened to a whole bunch of things and people, and I love learning stuff all the time. And I created a podcast many times before. We dabbled in 2009. We did an animated series that I came up with called Trailers, and I animated the whole thing through a goanime.com or something like that, and we would review movie trailers, okay, and we would base the review on the trailer, not the movie itself. That was the slogan, right? So we would watch a trailer, tell you about the trailer, but it was animated, and from that, I was like, all right, we got something here, right? And obviously it failed, just like this is failing, like our podcast, but it's fun doing it, right? So I decided, I was like, I kept bugging him for like a good 7 months before May of 2015 came out. Now, my son was born in August of 2014, and I was losing my mind because I went from working all the time, working in the film industry, to being a stay-at-home dad. And I was playing games in the wee hours of the morning with my son, newborn, in my lap while my wife was sleeping. And then I wouldn't go to sleep, so I started playing Destiny, and this is why I like Destiny a lot, because it came out literally 2 weeks after my son was born. Right. So I would play that with him in my lap, and then I started bugging Sarge. I was like, "Hey, we need to do this podcast," and he's like, "All right, just let me know. And I was like, "All right, well, you need to give me a day because you have a job, I don't, right? So I can do it anytime." And it took a really long time, sort of like getting on this podcast, to coordinate with Sarge to just do it. And then I was like, you know what? Get on. I'm going to give you a microphone. I gave him the microphone, gave him the stuff that he needed, and I said, we're just going to do this podcast. And then I turned it on and started recording. And I said, and you can tell when we
there was no script at all in that first episode.
There's never a script.
You just winged it.
Winged it every single time.
Wow. I thought it wasn't bad. I mean, for a first episode, it was not bad. I'm afraid to even go back and listen to our first, but I mean, we're only on 37, so
yeah. But it's good to do it that way because you can see yourself grow. That's the whole point. You see yourself what your mannerisms and see that. I'm actually glad that you said you've watched our old episodes and that we're the same, because we never wanted to be something that we're not.
Right.
We are who we are. Even though we're doing a show, we might act
amp
out
it up a little
on the
bit,
show.
Yeah.
But we're not going to change the demeanor and how we are to try to get views. I am who I am. I can't lie to the public about it.
Your honesty. That's what I love about it. That's what I love about it.
So I'm glad you guys see that when you said the first episodes, like we haven't really changed. Like the production's changed and maybe some of the language has changed a little bit, but like
and you looked a little bit younger.
Yeah, got a little bit of sleep back there.
I look like hell because I didn't sleep because I had a newborn. Yeah.
Oh, that's
you could
right.
see it in my face.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
And the lighting was terrible, and I was actually filming that in a closet. I was in a walk-in closet.
Closet, yes.
I would walk every night. I would come out of the closet. Yeah, and I'm straight. Yeah, I'm straight.
Oh, I'm definitely recording that for a soundbite.
Yep.
Oh man, that's great. That's awesome.
Wow.
Well, go ahead, Hazel. I've been talking here. Go ahead.
Yeah. 30. Well, hell, man. What have you been up to, man? How you been?
Good. Been good.
Oh yeah, I forgot to ask you that. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm the one with the tact among the two of us. So.
Okay.
But yeah, I know you've been doing your GXG micro episodes.
Yes, every day. We've done 101. 101.
Oh yeah, 101. Yeah. Those are very cool. I've been digging them. I haven't listened to all of them. I've been kind of dabbling with them, some audiobooks and things like that. But how are those going?
They're great. I when I first started it in the beginning of the year, I was like, you know what? Again, just like I came up with this podcast, like GenerationXGaming, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do another podcast to keep myself sane. Like I like entertaining people. I like talking to people. And I always see these YouTubers always like read the stories, but they don't actually read the story. They like glance over it and then tell you stuff. And then when I go back and read the stories, I'm like, he didn't even read it. That's not what they said at all. And I was like, okay. I was like, so let me read the article, give credit where the article's from, like give a source where it's from, and then
Mhm.
I give you my thoughts on it, right? And just like Young Yeah does on YouTube, like he actually reads stuff and says it. And I was like, I don't really want to do it video, right? I just want to do it audio, because a lot more people, when they watch Generation X Gaming, there's only like, I'll be honest, there's only like 35 to 40 people that might watch the video that I put on YouTube. But on Anchor or iTunes or Spotify or Google Play, there's literally hundreds of people that listen to it every single day when I posted each of the long episodes. And the average listener, I'm very surprised they listen to more than an hour and 10 minutes of each of those episodes. And I'm like, what?
We do too.
Right. And I'm like, that's crazy. So I was like, what would people like? And I was like, let me decide to make a GXG, because I really do like the Generation X Gaming, and I wanted Sarge to be a part of it, but he's not tech savvy, and getting him on the phone to do a quick episode is like impossible. So I just been doing them myself. So just looking at the articles all day, trying to find stories. As soon as I find one that sticks out, I'm like, all right, I'm interested in that. I'll read it, figure it out, and then I'll give my thoughts about it. Sometimes I do it live, like right when I'll read it first time on air, and then give you my thoughts as I'm reading it, right? Like at the very end. And I really like it because it just sounds very like self-centered and like egotistical, but I have a lot of experience with a lot of shit. And so when I read an article or see something in the biz, or the way the word is written or a sentence is written, there's more behind the story than what is just on the paper or on the page. So I take what they say and then I start putting pieces together and make it my own, where I'll come up with like conspiracy or speculation or whatever, but 80 to 85% of the time the shit that I say actually comes to fruition. And that just happens to be with just experience and working for certain companies and seeing how things go that way. So I love doing it. I mean, it's a goal of mine to do one a day for the entire year. And I was actually looking at my schedule today, and I was like, I hit 101 already. I was like, can I do this all the way to the end of the year? And it's hard, especially, well, now we're in quarantine, but like we went out of town one week for like 4 days. And I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to record. So leading up to that, I had to record like 4 or 5 episodes ahead and then schedule them out ahead of time and then record them like I was reading it that day. You know what I mean? So it's been fun doing my little episodes. I like them. I just like just ranting and telling the truth about stuff and just giving my opinion on things.
What's the over and under, Hazel? So he gets through the year? I can't remember what we bet on.
Oh, you bet on this? You're gonna lose.
No, we're rooting for you, dude.
No, I want to hear the bet because I'm very competitive.
I actually made that up on the fly.
If you tell me I'm going to fail, I'll definitely surpass it. I was actually thinking about. I was like, man, I think I could do this year, and I probably will do it again next year.
I know. Lono tries to do that. He does the daily stuff but he streams, and it's
already in there. It's a smart move by him by saying
it's true.
Repurpose what you're doing.
That's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wish I would follow that advice.
All right, Gator, I think you got the next one.
Well, I know you guys started right off the bat using YouTube to integrate your video. I mean, your podcasts are video compared to ours, which are all audio. And I don't know if anybody wants to even see my face, at least.
No.
But no, they don't. So anyway, I'm just old and wrinkly. No one wants to see me. But I'm just curious, what's your opinion of YouTube these days, since you guys have started off on that platform?
I've been doing videos on YouTube since the beginning of YouTube, off and on. I worked for a company that did videos for YouTube. I think YouTube is a fantastic medium, for like doing stuff, right? If you have an idea or you want to show something, I love watching home improvement things or people creating stuff, or
right.
I love all that stuff. I think it's great. What I think they're doing to it, I think, is terrible because it was started as the independent. It started with the nobodies making their own stuff and doing it, and now you turn it on and you see Will Smith or Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel and NBC and ABC and all these celebrities are doing all the stuff. I'm sorry if you can hear my kids screaming in the background. My wife is just killing him. Don't worry about it. I just don't like the way that YouTube is going now because it's changing the way it is. It started because it wanted to be an independent type of thing, and now it's turning into television. It's turning into, because now they have what, YouTube Red, right? Is that Red still even going, or they have Pro or whatever the hell it's called?
I don't know. I have YouTube TV and I love it.
Yeah. Okay. So like with where the Cobra Kai is and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Like,
And you can get that with YouTube Premium, I think they call it, but I don't have that.
Right.
So, oddly enough, they separate Premium from YouTube TV. I'm like, I'm paying a premium for YouTube TV, yet I can't access. I don't have the benefits of Premium. I don't understand why Google does that, but.
Yeah, well, I mean, I get what they're doing, because Google itself is a free service, right? Like you can search, and yet YouTube is also a free service, but they do ad revenue and get your, they personalize it for you. So if you're watching one thing, they'll recommend something else for you. And I love how it works, right? Because they're not charging you anything, and you can do whatever you want. And coming from the film industry, seeing what YouTube is and how far it's come with the quality of what people first started to what they are doing now, it's insane. But I don't know. It's moving in a direction that I don't agree with.
Right. But
it's also in a morphing state, right? It's almost like Venom right now. It's in like this conglomerate lump, and then all of a sudden when it attaches itself to someone, which right now would be the major companies, right?
Well, my biggest fear with YouTube right now is this new childhood child restriction, or you have to label your channel as either child friendly or not. How have you navigated that? I mean, I guess you guys are explicit, so I guess it's easy. But
I just put explicit. Yeah,
I put video games on there. I put mostly Destiny and a little bit of Battlefield or Call of Duty or whatever. And I'm like, well, it's technically a video game. I mean, kids could be drawn to this, but if you hear my dialogue in some of the videos, I am cussing. Yeah. So I just put for adults only.
Here's the thing. We're so small.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter for us.
Right.
Right. Where if you were like PewDiePie or someone big, that's when it would affect you.
Okay.
And even then, if that big, you've already set the bar of what type of content you make.
Sure.
So you're playing Minecraft, but if you're cursing up a storm, a kid could watch it. But then there's a gap here, right? Where if you're a parent, you should probably know what your kids are watching, right? Just because there's Minecraft on the screen doesn't mean it's safe for kids, right? So like my kid right now, he's too young, but he watches YouTube Kids.
Yeah.
Right. And he watches all these video games, and some of the kids that he watches, I'm like, I don't want you to watch that. Like, I know everybody he watches and everything he does, and I'm not putting any other parent down there, but like, if you don't know what your kid's doing, then you're not doing your job. Your job is to be a parent, and it's not YouTube's responsibility to mitigate that, to be like, hey, you're showing Legos, you're trying to take advantage of kids. No, I'm trying to make money on a platform, and you're soliciting it, right? That's what you're doing. So
okay, I was just curious. The parental, the childhood right thing scares the hell out of me, but I think you're right. We're so small, I don't even think we ever blip on their radar right now.
Right. So, and if it is a problem, that means I'm doing something right and someone's noticing.
Well, that's true. All right, Hazel, you go next, man.
All right, sir. So back to Sarge. Haven't heard you talk for a little bit, so
still here.
Do you have a motto, mantra, words to live by, things like that?
I don't really have like a motto, but the way I kind of live basically is don't do it to somebody if you don't want it done to you. It's kind of like the way I act around other people.
Golden rule.
I guess maybe it was from growing up religious, I guess, until the age of reason. But like there's certain things that you should do to other people to help them out, right? That's your main, and that's one of your main things in life. You're supposed to help others, right? But the way your behavior should always be something that if I'm acting a certain way to somebody, then I would be okay if this was done to me. That's how you know if it's right or wrong. Like that's kind of like how I live.
I can't believe you left this question for me, Hazel. I can't wait to ask this. All right, Sergeant McCluskey. What is one thing about you that nobody knows? Not no one, but maybe your gaming circle or our audience. What's one thing that maybe they don't know about you?
That nobody knows about me?
No, maybe your family and close friends.
If I answer the question though, then everyone will know. Then there's no more of that ever being a secret.
Yeah, that is a good point. I do get what you're saying there. But just something. It doesn't have to be serious. It could be something simple. I mean, people listen to your or watch your podcast.
I got a good one. No, in my entire life, or are you talking about like give me the context? Because
no. People watch your podcast. What's one thing that maybe your podcast listeners and watchers maybe don't know about you?
Oh, they don't know. Oh, that's easier than the other one. I was about to dive deep.
You can do whatever. No, damn. No, I changed my mind. Go back to the other one.
All right. Well,
say them both.
The one I had in mind was the one thing that probably nobody knows is I actually took a bet of $100 to dress like a woman to go out and to get a phone number from somebody.
Wow.
This is back before I had hair at all, though. Like, just no hair. Like, I didn't get hair like on me until like I started late. So I think I was maybe like
he's not talking on his head. He's talking on his body.
Yeah. So I dressed up as I cross-dressed in order to win a bet from one of my friends because he thought I couldn't do it.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
See, Sarge is ahead of his time. That's
he is
just like a normal thing now.
He is.
Yeah.
30.
As far as video games and stuff go, I think they know because of my demeanor, but I don't have patience for stupidity.
Well, we know that. We definitely know that.
Yeah.
I get that right off the bat. I mean, well, let me pose the question to you, 30, because when you were here last, we don't think we were able to ask you that. It wasn't. I don't think it was part of our questions. Is there something that maybe the gaming community or your listeners maybe don't know about you?
Actually, yeah, it's real simple. A lot of people think I'm very rough and like angry, and I'm really not. I'm a really easygoing person. And Lono actually said it one time on his stream because someone said something about me in his stream, and he's like, oh, 30. He's like, 30's awesome. He's like, we hang out all the time when we're in Florida, and he's like the best, friendliest, nicest person you could meet. But the persona that I have on the Rageous Round Table is I'm a complete and utter asshole, and I hate Destiny, right? And that could be nothing but farther from the truth, because I dislike Destiny, but I don't hate it in any way, shape, or form. I just disappointed with it, right? So just people think that, which I'm doing a good job, because that's the role I'm playing on that podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
And on my podcast, I'm a little bit where snarky and stuff like that, but at the same time, I'm always go lucky. You know what I mean? Like happy go lucky.
I hate strippers. Name one guy who hates strippers. One guy.
Now, you know what, 30? I still remember that picture of you laying down, or was it Lono laying down and on the couch at the last Guardian Con?
Oh, yeah.
That was a great pic. I remember seeing that. I think Lono tweeted that out, or you might have tweeted out. I can't remember, both of you. That was a great pic. Great pic.
That's actually a good one, because that's me, right? That's exactly a pictured moment in time of that's who I am. I'm just a fun guy to hang out with.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know what? We got so much ahead of us. Let's end it there. Thank you guys, both of you, for sharing your life with us. I mean, that's the one thing I love about this podcast is I get to interview people and find out more about them. And you can't do that when you're streaming. I mean, when you guys are streaming on your show, I can't sit there and pick your brain. You guys got a job to do. And now I got you guys in our environment where I can pick your brain and see what you're like. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
No problem. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, this week at Bungie, what do we got, Hazel?
What we have here is, first and foremost, Bungie is doing a fundraising stream on Monday, April 13th, so pretty much the day this comes out at 10 o'clock Pacific time. So they're going to, if you donate money to it, they're going to give you a badass emblem, shader, all that good stuff.
Looks
actually,
pretty
just
good.
an emblem. Yeah.
Looks pretty good.
Yep. And aside from that, is something called Grandmaster Nightfalls. Well, actually, wait a minute. Before that is Iron Banner.
Yes.
Coming back.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Grandmaster Nightfalls. So, regarding those, basically, it's a tougher Nightfall. Who'd have thunk it? So, with it, it's going to be significantly more challenging. You can't even go into this shit until you're 1025. And everybody, basically all the enemies are going to be at 1050. It's kind of, what the community says is that this is kind of meh. And the reason why they say that is because there isn't too much focus on the loot that you're going to get from doing this. This is more.
they're not. In other words, they're not mentioning what the loot is, are they?
Well, no, they said an increased chance for exotic armor.
Oh, that it? I've already got all the exotics.
Well, exactly. Yeah. So what's your point? So, okay, for you, your big draw would be the infusion materials.
Golf balls?
Sure.
Really?
Why not?
Oh, brother.
Yeah. So, but for I think that really what they're doing here is that they're going for.
This is a test. This is a test. They're talking about build crafting. I have a feeling.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
I have a feeling.
I don't think it's a test either. I think it's just them trying to throw shit at a wall, hoping it sticks. But besides that, what I think this is, I think Bungie wants this to be sort of like trials for PvE.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
I think that's their kind of what they want to have this be, because you have to have, build checks and things along those lines, which this comes out on April 21st, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And the main thing with this is I feel sorry for anybody LFGing this, because, they're going to be asking, hey, are you running 100 discipline intellect? What are you doing?
Right.
It's going to be basically,
if you can hear him talk, even if you have a mic and you can hear him talk, good luck. This sounds like
LFG.
This isn't matchmaking, I'm assuming, correct? It's going to be a formed fire team?
No, not at all. No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Well, we'll see.
Not that at all.
Glad will do it by himself, and he'll be done. And
Glad is actually taking a break.
Yeah, he's
not doing it.
What?
Yep.
This is right up his alley. And then it says Grandmaster should be watchable. No. So this is made for streamers.
And nobody's going to be streaming it. So there you go.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, that was going to be the other piece of news that I was going to give to, was that Glad is taking off for the next 2 seasons.
Really?
Said he'll be back in limited.
We'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, he's making some coin right now on streaming.
Yeah.
A lot of people tune into him.
3 days later, when his donations and stuff go down and no one's subbing, he'll be like, "Oh no, I'm going back."
Well, by popular demand.
Yeah. Well, he was playing Resident Evil 3, and I was watching that, and that was actually better time than I've seen him have with Destiny.
Yeah, but Resident Evil's literally 6 hours and he's done.
Yeah, it's
right.
Yeah,
but it was still fun to watch.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that it wasn't fun to watch. What I'm saying is, once he's done playing these other games, he'll be like, "No, I'm gonna go back." The other games take literally 6 to 8 hours to complete.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing with Destiny, is that it still has something to do at all times, basically.
Well, it also takes 6 to 8 hours to complete everything, and then you just rinse and repeating everything.
Yeah, running the stories over. Yeah.
Good point. And then, aside from that, Nearest is the community focus. And then, again, shameless plug to watch the movie of the week, because there's a parody of the song "I Rate Sins, Not Tragedies," and it's "I collect motes, not deposit them." And it actually put a big smile on my face. It really did.
Wow.
Speaking of another game mode that no one plays, huh?
I played last night.
Yeah. You poor soul. Why?
Because we had to get the clan engram for Gambit. So shout out to me, Jealous, and Warcry. We all three went into regular Gambit, not Prime, and we had one team who was idle and jumped out. We had another team that we beat fair and square, and a third team we got stomped out of those 3 games. So
yeah,
sounds like the standard, right?
That's about right. Our average is more than 50%, I guess, if you count the team that didn't even do anything. We're like, and then the game glitched, actually, where we couldn't deposit motes.
You don't say.
And we were searching. We're going, where do we deposit these? We can't deposit them here. There was one of the pegs of the thing that would deposit motes, but then there was a visual glitch where you couldn't see how many motes are deposited. And then all of a sudden, the other team is almost done with their Primeval. I'm like, okay.
What are you playing, console or PC?
No, we were on PS4 last night. Yeah.
Okay. Do you play on PC as well? Or no?
I love PC. I wish everyone would go to PC.
I play a little bit on PC every once in a while, but
it's such a beautiful game.
but since PC came out, since Destiny 2 came out, it's getting worse. It's getting worse for consoles, and it's getting worse. There's so many glitches and bugs and stuff that happen.
Don't get me started on getting beavered all the time.
Yeah. I would love to get beavered. What?
All the time.
We made fun of this last night. We made fun of this last week.
I think you have to pay. I think you have to pay for that, though.
Yeah, supposedly they're
Supposedly
they're going to fix the beaver codes, or at least they're going to. They showed a graph how they're going down slowly.
That's my girlfriend Destiny's favorite move, the beaver. Yeah.
Ladies that are listening, please. We're just old guys that haven't grown up. Okay. No offense to you guys.
Yeah, I don't think most of the millennial kids know what beaver is anyway.
You're probably right. You're probably right, Sarge. You're probably right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
An animal that builds dams in the water.
Exactly. I'm sorry, Hazel. Yeah. Was there anything else?
No, there actually is.
And Sarge thought I was being facetious about Iron Banner. I'm not. I'm looking forward to playing it because don't get me started on Trials. I'm not even going down that water hole. I'm not doing it. Nope. I already said my opinion on Trials, and I'm going to leave it at that. So let's move on. Thanks, Hazel, for letting us know what's going on this week. We'll be right back after this. All right, I always like this part of the show. This is where our community ask us and try to embarrass us probably with their Discord questions. And we get these from Twitter or our Discord community under podcast questions if you want to know. And we got a few here, Hazel. Why don't you dip into the basket and grab one first?
All right, sir. Uncle Scumdeath, are your kids getting bored yet? The Mrs. Teenagers are so bored, but not bored enough to do any housework. Lazy gits.
I don't know what that means, but okay. Oh, lazy people. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Guys, you're our guest of honor?
Well, Sarge doesn't have kids, so...
None that I know of.
Yeah. So my kid, he's bored normally. Right now, my kid's pretty smart, so he understands why he's not in school and stuff like that. Where my nephew, he's oblivious and still thinks he's on spring break, which is pretty funny. Yeah, but my kid's bored all the time. He could be playing something really cool and then looks at me and goes, "I'm bored." And I'm like, are you serious? You have everything. You have 1,000 toys. It's like Toys R Us blew up in our house. And how can you be bored? So yeah, my kid's bored all the time.
Nice. Hazel?
Yeah, my daughter looked at me today and goes, "Hey Dad, I'm sick of you. I want to be with Mom." So
wow, harsh. Kids are honest, aren't they?
Well, yeah, they are, but it's okay because I looked at her and I said, "Okay, well that's fine. You can do that, and Dad's gonna sit and play Destiny this weekend, and you and Mom can have all the quality time you want."
I'm sure she thanks you for that.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, that's my daughter just I've been watching her for the past week, so she's a little over me.
Well, my kids don't live in here anymore. They're both in college. My son's about to graduate, but my daughter's over at University of South Florida, and she's had it. She says, "I can do school from home. I'm coming home." So we've got a mask made for her. I've got a mask, and she's got to stick around the other side of the house in case she's one of those people who carries the COVID-19 and doesn't have any symptoms.
Yeah, asymptomatic, yeah.
Yeah, so for at least 5 days. And she called in sick. She works at Target, and I've been trying to get a Switch, by the way. Been trying to get her to snag one, but no dice. I said, Dad'll pay you extra. Get one for Dad. Come on, get a Switch for Dad. I want to play Donkey Kong again. And
son of a bitch.
No, I'm sorry.
What's the point of you working there if I can't get an in? What's going on?
I know exactly my point. And she's coming home Sunday, so by the time this comes out, she'll be home, and I'm scared shitless, to be honest, because I'm hoping she doesn't, because she says, I'm working at Target and people are coughing on me. I'm like, what? I said, you get away from them, honey. Get away from them. You don't let them cough on you. You back up. You jump back if you have to. But she's had enough. She called in sick. She had a sore throat because she was worried about getting sick. So they said, well, you're off for a week then. Can't come back. And she said, but you can't take a leave of absence until, I know this is just thrilling. I'm talking what I'm talking about here, but she says, you can't take a leave of absence until you work your next shift. Well, they gave her 2 4-hour shifts split up through the week for the next week coming up. She just gave those away to somebody and said, I'm coming home. So, I guess to answer that question, you have to give me a couple weeks. Let me see how it goes. She's a 20-year-old female, so I know Mom's happy because she's wanting to play Rummy Cub with somebody. So we'll see. I got one from Jealous here. This is for everybody. Question of the show: what is the funniest prank you have pulled on anybody in your lifetime? Oh, I can't. Go ahead, guys. Funniest prank. Gosh, I get so many.
I'm not really a good prank guy.
Really?
I mean, yeah, I don't do pranks. This is the reason. I can tell you one of the pranks I thought was funny, and it wasn't. When we were kids, my uncle Nick was he's actually a great uncle, but we call him Uncle Nick. He was watching us, and we told him there was a snake in the tub. And when he came into the tub, there wasn't, like, we had a fake snake in there.
Right.
He almost had a heart attack.
Uh-oh.
And because he's deathly afraid of snakes. So I thought it was going to be a funny prank, and ever since then I was like, yeah, that's not funny. So I don't really pull pranks on people anymore.
Okay. Sarge, how about you?
This is a tough one. I think the prank that I pulled is when I had my friend's car towed because he was such a dick for like a good week or two. He was just being a complete and total prick. So I know a tow truck guy, and I had his car towed, and I let him suffer for like 3 days with a stolen car.
Oh my God.
And then I had the car delivered to his house after 3 days.
Jeez.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it was funny to me
Yeah.
and the people who were in on it.
Well, funny is a subjective word, so.
That's correct. And when you play Destiny, so is fun.
Exactly. Good point. Yeah.
The car stolen thing, I think, was the one.
That's a good one.
It was.
That's a good one. Hazel, you got one?
For me, I would probably have to go with the one that I mentioned before about putting the Christmas remote control.
I know where you're going.
Basically, we plugged a guy's computer into a remote control, like light switch kind of thing that you could just push a button and turn lights on and off.
Mm-hmm.
So we would go ahead and push the button, turn off his computer, listen to him cuss and everything else, and then we'd turn it back on, and then
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, we did this for about maybe it was a couple weeks, and then
the long play.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, exactly. And then we looped our IT guy in too, as to what we were doing. So he would walk up and check it, and then he would go like, "Oh yeah, everything looks fine." And then as soon as he would turn around and leave, I'd hit the button to turn it off. And then he's like, "It fucking did it again." And then the IT guy would come back, and I'd turn it on right after, and he's like, "It looks fine." So
I remember you telling me that one. That one is awesome. I don't know if I could top that, but I've always played pranks on my kids. And when they were growing up, Skull, there's no Santa Claus. I would play Santa, and my kids would want to, they'd each get a big item. You know how that goes. You get this big item. They want, say it was a bike and a dollhouse. And I would purposely put it on the front porch. And my dad did this to me, so I was just passing on the tradition. And I would say, well, looks like Santa did good this year. And you'd see them all moping around, hanging their heads, and they didn't get the thing they were asking for. And then I go out and get the paper. I need to read the paper. You do that for me? I don't want to. Well, go get the paper. And they'd open the door, of course, and they'd be, both their items are right there on the front porch. I've done that so many times, so many Christmases that they finally just knew. They'd always just wait.
They just go to the porch now first?
No. I would always hide in a different spot, but they'd always wait at the end. They're like, there's a big reveal. They'd always know there's some big reveal at the end, and they'd play along after a while. Mm-hmm. So I always love doing that.
Well, that's called tradition. You started a tradition.
Absolutely, and I'm hoping they will with their kids as well. So we'll see, I guess. All right, Hazel, what do we got?
All right. Sorry, my phone locked on me.
Oh, I'll go the next one. Need time?
There we go.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, I would need some time.
Okay, I got one from Chris3711 here. He goes, okay, serious answers only. You're right. You do listen to our podcast, Chris, right? You get the opportunity to rule the world for one day and one only. What would you try to accomplish in the 24 hours that you would become your legacy?
Oh, Jesus.
Can't do it in 24 hours.
That's a tough question, though. I wish
Well,
I would.
technically, you wouldn't be able to get to rule the world for one day, so that's fictitious as
All right,
well.
all right, am I a Bond villain? Am I like ruling the world like an Iron Fist type of thing, or is it like a utopian society and I'm in charge?
I think it's a utopian society, and you're in charge, and whatever you say goes for those 24 hours. I'm assuming that's the way he's stating this. He got this from
the cat on your lap, and you can rub the cat's head.
There you go. I think this is he got this from the song from Tears for Fears. Everyone wants to rule the world.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how this question came about.
Hey, I got one.
All right.
I came up with this the other day in the car, actually, and I was like, how would you implement this? And my wife's like, I don't know. You would probably have to run for office or something. And I was like, oh, all right. So here it is. I hate people that are shitty drivers, right?
Amen.
So people that speed, you speed, you get a ticket, and then once you get the ticket, you don't speed for a couple of days or weeks or whatever, and then you start speeding again. So to help everyone in everyone's community and everyone's insurance, they could create. God, I hope this doesn't get out because they actually might do this. They would put a box in your car, okay, that's hooked up to like your phone, like a GPS type of thing. That's already in the car, right? Mm-hmm. And you get a insurance. Your insurance goes cheaper because you have this in your car, right? Okay. So when you run a red light, it prints a ticket out for you. Boom! It knows that you ran a red light. It prints a ticket out for you, and it's automatically on your credit card. So it takes it out on your credit card, okay? And you have to pay your bill. Well, that money goes towards the city, and the city can make improvements to the roads and businesses and whatever. And it would know when you're speeding. It would know when you run red lights. It knows when you're not turning your signal on. And if you follow the rules and actually read your manual and know how to drive, then you wouldn't have a problem. But if you were a crazy driver, you would be paying for the fucking city and the roads and everything else, and you would learn your lesson real fast. So I would implement that box in that 24 hours, and everyone would hate me for the rest of their lives. So there you go.
That's your legacy.
That would be my legacy.
I think that actually does exist, but it's voluntary. That actually does exist. It's a version of that does exist.
You meant the thing they plug into your port in the car? I did that.
Yeah. That's the basic version. I think it keeps track of how fast you go on average. It keeps track of what your distance are. Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't keep track of you getting tickets.
It's just a beginning. It's a beginner version of that. Yeah.
I did that. I saved like $300 a year when I did that.
Hopefully, someone doesn't listen to this podcast that has people in high places. Because if you see that in the car, I'm sorry. There's
probably zero chance of that, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't got an answer for this. I don't know. I don't got an answer. This is hard.
This is a serious one for me, but it's not real. It's kind of petty. But I would push a pause button on all this fucking bullshit that's going on right now, and I would take my wife to the movie theater and watch whatever movie I wanted to that was out. That's what I'd want.
That's kind of cool.
24 hours, that's what I'd like to do.
So you just go to the movies by yourself?
No, me and my wife, yeah. No.
That's what I'm saying. Just you two.
No, you could put up... No, you could bring people too. Everybody gets one day off. I pushed the pause button on COVID-19.
Oh, I got you.
Everybody can go and do whatever they want for one day. Get it out of your system. But then as soon as stroke of midnight comes, you got to get back to your house.
It's like the purge.
Yeah,
yes, there it is. Yeah, a reverse purge.
You said do anything you want.
Well, no, not that. You know what I mean? Get it out of your system, if you want to go.
It's the good purge. I got.
Yeah, if you want to go kart racing or whatever, go for it. Whatever. Okay, the best fun you can have in one day. Get all your anxieties out and all this crap that's going on in the world right now, and then stroke of midnight, back to business.
Your day could be called Gatorade. It could be called Go Fun Yourself. There you go.
There it is.
That's it.
That's my legacy. I did it. All right, Hazel.
I don't know.
It's a tough question.
It is. I mean, I think that. We're almost kind of already there in a way, but
yeah.
But what I would say would be have everybody take the day off and have everybody watch their favorite comedy. Just to laugh and just get past all this bullshit that's going on right now.
That would be a fun day also.
Man, I'm the leader from fucking Tropico.
I know, I'm just saying that.
And you guys let's just all have fun. I'm gonna pause the day. I'm gonna put in a device that charges you fucking money, and you're gonna run on my island here.
You're gonna have a reward on your head after those 24 hours.
I got one. I got one. A small one.
Sure.
Okay, so I think that we need to. I would instill. I would put in place a law that
to have fun.
No, not that fun. Not that fun. That holds reporters responsible for not respecting their actual role in life.
Yes.
Like if you're a journalist, you have to do the 5: the who, what, why, where, how, and then shut the fuck up. If you're going to go off on the side someplace and do whatever, and you're going to say whatever, then you're not a journalist anymore. You don't get paid. You're out. Get the fuck out.
So
you're done.
So journalism,
right? Integrity, right? You want them?
We
you want them to just be a journalist. I got you.
Yes. Journalistic integrity. Otherwise, we have Monday night executions at the halftime with the Super Bowl. Yeah, football games. We execute all the journalists.
Now Sarge for one day.
Now Sarge is on my side as Tropico dictator over here.
Yeah, I guess so. Shit, I should have thought this one through.
Yeah. So we have the fun side, and the brothers want to have dictatorship.
The brothers Grimm.
I was just gonna say that. You beat me to it.
If I had more than one day, I would do some other shit. But for
have
one day,
fun weeks and months.
Exactly.
How about one day of the year? That would make sense. Every year, everybody knows that day's coming. Fun day or whatever.
It still should be that Sundays are for people, bro. It should be that stores are closed on Sundays. You should go back to one day a week where people just get to do what the fuck they want.
How about first? My second one is you get to punch someone in the face that you really hate.
Oh, I love it.
One day a year, you get to punch somebody in the face, and they can't punch you back.
And the next,
obviously, they wouldn't know it's you unless the person that you're punching also wants to punch you, right?
And the next day at the office, everyone has Band-Aids on their nose. You know who's been an asshole.
It's like Fight Club. Yeah,
I like it. I like that.
I like it. Can I steal that instead?
Yeah. Run wild.
Brilliant.
Great answer.
Yeah. Anybody watch How I Met Your Mother? It could be Slapsgiving.
Yes. Yes.
Nice.
You don't know when it's coming. Could happen anytime.
All right, Hazel, we're off the rails. Pick another one.
That's what happens with us.
I know.
All right. Well, Jealous asked the question for me, and I'm going to have to table this because I have to work on it.
Okay.
It is early question for Hazelnut, so you might need to prepare. Since you are watching Pokemon with your Pikachu, can you memorize the Poke rap and recite it on the show?
So you can't recite it right now?
I can't recite it right now.
Okay, that question stays.
Yep, we're going to leave that out there. I did start to dive into this, and it's, I'm not looking forward to this.
Well, since you called out one for you, I'll call out one for me. This is from Uncle Scumdeath. It says, if the Destiny servers went down for 1 month, which game would Gator play first?
He played Destiny 1.
No, Destiny servers.
Oh, okay,
he played Russian roulette.
Oh my god! I guess I would play Warzone
with a 45.
Oh shit! Oh my god! Freaking Deer Hunter! Oh boy! Yeah.
Is that what you would play? You would play Deer Hunter?
No. That is a good game. That is a good game. I remember that one. No, I would probably go play.
Oh,
I'd probably go play Call of Duty because I got to do the shooties and the looties, man. I got to do that. So it'd probably be Call of Duty, the latest one. Which, by the way, I bought for PS4 and I haven't not gotten past the title screen yet.
For those of you at home, this is my surprised face.
All right, Hazel, go ahead, man. We got a few left.
All right, Uncle Scumdeath, what animal are you most afraid of? Question mark. I think we all know Hazel's.
Hazel, all right, let me ask this question, Hazel. If you have spiders in your house, what do?
Burn it down.
See?
Start over.
Start over.
There's his answer. I says, use a 9-iron, man. He goes, no, you burn the whole fucking house down. I'm like, okay.
Well, if it's a corner spider, like they're doing their job, I leave them alone.
That's what I was just saying.
If it's a free roamer, then he gets a ticket to go outside. I don't like to kill spiders.
Okay.
I'm not afraid of them. I respect them. I just bring them outside.
Nah, I can't stand spiders, but I won't I'm not gonna I'm not deathly afraid of them because I'm in that business.
What animal? I probably have to say
Most afraid of
shark. Shark.
Yeah, because they can come out of nowhere.
I'm okay on the land. I can respect most things, but when I'm in the water, shark is what I'm looking for. That's what I worry about.
I got an answer for this. You got 130?
Yeah, I'm deathly afraid of birds.
Really?
But, yeah, not all birds. Just there's certain birds that when I was growing up, my friend had like a cockatiel that just hated my fucking guts. It would always bite me and make me bleed.
Yeah.
Right. And growing up, there's actually a picture of me. Like you go to one of these like bush gardens or whatever, and you can have a picture taken with like birds on you, and my face, you could see the terror on my face. But I respect birds. I love like eagles and hawks and birds. But
right.
I'm afraid. Like it's an instinct. Like they come at me, and I just like it might have been Hitchcock that did it to me.
Yeah.
With the movie Birds. Honest to God. Yeah.
Sure.
I think Hitchcock fucked it up for me for my life.
I got to tell you a story. When I was first in the exterminating business, I was working for my uncle, and they had this one customer who had a damn parrot, big ass parrot that was in it was a tri-level house. It was like in the lower floor. They just let it roam and do whatever, and they'd make me go down there. And I swear to God, they just waited for me to realize there was a bird flying in that damn place, and it would frickin' dive bomb my head, and you could feel the claws grab my, hit your skull, or the wing flap you in the face. Scared the hell out of me. I'm like, if you don't get rid of this bird and don't put him in the cage, I'm not coming down here again, and I'm also going to hit him with this wand. This wand is full brass and steel.
You could hit him on my day of the year.
See? I can hit him in the face. There we go.
Yeah, punch him in the face.
My most fearful thing, when I was a little kid, I grew up on acreage here locally in Orlando, and I used to dig worms on the edge of like a marshland. It was part of a lake, but there was a lot of marshland that my parents lived next to, and I would go dig earthworms. I loved fishing when I was a kid. There was a 6-foot black, super thick water moccasin that hinded up like a cobra and was searching for my ass. I must have come across his nest or her nest, whatever, and I swear to God, I thought I was never going to make it out of that forest alive. And I still even think about it, I just get goosebumps because I've never seen a snake so aggressive look for me in the woods, and it was literally like a cobra. It was scary shit. So, yeah, that's my answer. Let's see here. We skipped the one for Hazel for next week, which I expect a full report. I got one from Chubby Wizard here. He says, question for the show. What are your favorite Easter basket goodies? Mine are Reese's peanut butter eggs, Starburst jelly beans, and Cadbury eggs. Thanks, love the show. 30, what's your Easter treat, man?
I'm not a big chocolate guy. Like I like sweets, but I'm not big. But I do love the Reese's peanut butter cups. But I can't eat them when they're warm. I have to put them in the freezer.
Yeah.
And they have to just sit in there for a little bit just to get a little hard.
Not like a hocky puck, but just like a little tender.
Yeah, just a little tender, and then pull them out and then eat them. So when I get an Easter basket, or when I got an Easter basket, I didn't eat the candy right away. I would put it in the freezer, let it, mold over a bit, and then eat it. But that's mine.
Sarge?
I was always a chocolate snob. Like I hated those hollow bunnies. The chocolate was shit.
Shit chocolate. It tasted like crap.
But my favorite growing up that I always had in my mind
evil.
is the jelly bean. The jelly beans.
Can't go wrong with jelly beans. They're classic.
Who fucking makes a hollow bunny rabbit of chocolate? It's just evil.
I know it is. You're like, oh my God, look how big this rabbit is.
Look how big this fucking rabbit is.
You bite into it and its head's gone.
Yeah, and you're like, it's fucking hollow. It's bullshit.
And it all crumbles.
Bait and switch.
And if you let it sit in your basket too long, it gets brittle. So when you try to bite into it like a few weeks later, you like saving your stuff for later, and you bite into it and it comes real brittle.
Horrible chocolate.
It's just terrible. It's the worst shit ever. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Hazel?
I'd have to go with the Cadbury, or not the Cadbury eggs, but the
they gross me out.
Reese's. They
give me the heebie-jeebies. Those Cadbury eggs. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, too runny.
Yeah.
When you bite into that.
I'd have to go with the Reese's eggs. Yeah.
Oh, you like the Reese's eggs for Easter? Like they make the Easter.
Yeah, like solid chocolate with like bits of peanut butter or whatever in them.
Yeah.
I got you. Those are good. but put them in the fridge. Mine would be. You remember the circus peanuts, the little marshmallow treats? They used to make those in bunny shapes. I love those.
Yeah, Peeps.
No, not the squishy peepee shit. That's garbage. No,
I would punch the peep in the face if it was an actual thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I hate
No,
those.
the
It
circus.
doesn't have to be the day either.
The circus peanuts,
Right.
they're like I don't even know what they're made out of. That's what's scary about them. But it's like a marshmallow, but a hardened marshmallow.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, circus peanuts. They sell them at Walmart, wherever. I still buy them to this day. But they used to make them in a bunny shape, and you get like a bag of them, and they'd be like blue and pink, but they'd be just not in a wrapper. They'd just be open, in a bag. Can't remember what they're called, but that's mouth waters just thinking about it. You get a massive headache after you eat them, though. They're such crap. So bad for you. All right, Hazel.
I'll make sure I don't touch those.
Circus peanuts are really good. You just got to eat them in moderation. All right,
Like
Hazel.
everything else.
They were never on the list. That was one of the candies I could not stand. That's the same level. That's the same level as candy corns. I can't stand those either.
Yeah. Those give headaches too.
Eh. All right. Before we get off topic with candy corn, because I'll fight to the death for some candy corn.
Okay.
Just know you're in the low percentage.
Candy.
You're in the low percentage, buddy. I
Did you
already
like?
did the numbers.
Now let me ask you this: did you like the fall mix too?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
Okay, you like the classic.
Ew.
Gator, I'm looking at these circus peanut things. Oh God,
Dude, they're so good, man. They're so good.
Oh,
They won't
I've
be back.
I've had them
They're
ever.
not coming back.
I know, but I just had to get that out. But I still eat them to this day. It must be something from childhood, but those were big when I was a kid. I'm a child of the 70s and 80s, so.
someone created a circus peanut Jello salad.
Oh, no thanks. No thanks.
Oh.
Just classic circus peanut, but in a bunny rabbit form.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. We don't want to. Okay. Yeah, we just lost a lot of viewers.
Yeah,
or
we
listeners,
did.
so,
We did.
Yeah, with that.
Thanks, 30.
So,
I think he was talking about you with the peanut thing.
Oh, what? Come on. Who doesn't like circus peanuts? All right.
Me.
All right. Don't answer that.
I think more people like candy corn.
Okay.
All right. So my Call of Duty socks have turned up dirty. Have turned up in the dirty washing basket. I've not seen them in ages, so that means the lad has been wearing them. When was the last time your child wore your clothes? Uncle Scumdeath.
My kid's 5. He hasn't worn my clothes yet.
Yeah. There was so much of a difference in size between my son and I. If he wore anything, it would be like draped on him.
I'm curious to know where this question even originates from. I want
Uncle Scumdeath. He's our crazy British uncle, and he has teenage kids in his house.
I got it.
And he's the coolest dude. If you ever saw his pic, you'd understand why. We've had him on our show before. He's just a classic guy. But that's why we had to read the question a couple times, because he talks British. The way they word things, it's a little different than what we're used to. But yeah, maybe my socks. Maybe my son wore a couple of my socks one time. That's about it, though.
I think
Yeah,
I'd
my
be in
daughter wears
trouble
my
if I said
shoes.
any kids were wearing anything of. So I'm gonna stay quiet.
Hazel, would that ever happen to you? I don't think so, right?
Yeah, she wears my shoes.
Oh, okay.
She'll walk around in them. It's fucking adorable.
That would be adorable. 5-year-old girl doing that. Yeah. All right, we got one left. I guess I'll finish it out. It's from Mosh and Mac. Good to see you, buddy. Hello. I'd like to ask a question to this mighty fine show you have. What is your favorite board game or family time game? Mine has been Jenga, and I have a record of 33 levels high. Hope y'all are doing good, and I effing love you guys. Love Mosh.
33. How many pieces of wood are in the damn box?
I don't know. I was just thinking about it.
33 high.
Maybe they combined them, 2 of them into one or something.
Okay,
That's a lot of blocks, man.
that's a lot of skill.
Well, since you guys made a board game,
My favorite board game of all time, like of all time, or one that I play. Like
it just
say the
says
question again?
it just says what is your favorite board game or family time game?
Oh man.
So many.
Well, for numbers of games played, I would say Axis and Allies, but otherwise, Settlers of Catan, I've played a lot of.
Anybody else?
I'm sorry. I was looking at a Jenga block for a second, and I had to know how tall.
33 is?
Yeah, 33 is. So the Jenga block has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 levels
Wow.
at the start.
Wow.
So they doubled it, and there's three pieces of wood across. So yeah, okay.
There's 52 pieces, I think, 54 pieces total.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Sorry, that's the way my brain works.
No, that's good.
My favorite game, my favorite board game. Well, one of my favorite board games when I was a kid was Fireball Island.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone knows what the game is.
I don't remember that one.
It's a fantastic. It's a 3-dimensional board game. You're 4 people trying to go up a mountain to grab a ruby to run down the mountain to get to the one boat on the island and get off the island first. So that's a fun game. But we made a board game, and I like Weekend in Vegas. It's not an actual board game that anyone can play, but if you did play it, you would be like, holy shit, this is a really good fucking board game.
We got to hear about that later, and maybe another episode. I definitely want to hear about that. I know you mentioned in your last interview that you guys created a board game.
You can I can send you the link to put into your Discord, and people can look at it.
Okay, we'll post it.
It was a Kickstarter at one point.
Okay, please do that in our DM, and we'll post it in our feedback show segment feedback channel if anyone wants to look for it. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Hazel, I'll let you go next. What do you got?
I thought that was the last question.
No. What's your favorite board game?
Oh, for fuck! Sorry.
Or family time game.
Probably. I mean, I'm a sadistic bastard, so I would have to go with probably Monopoly.
I knew it. I knew there was one in the room.
I like Monopoly. It was fun, but we never finished it. That was the problem. And as soon as someone would obviously be dominating, it'd be everyone would just walk away. I gotta go. Okay, as a kid, I've already mentioned it. I played chess with my dad. I loved it. And as I became a teenager, Dark Tower. You guys remember that game?
God, Dark Tower.
Was that a great game? God, I still remember that game these days.
My God, they don't ever make a thing like that anymore.
No, that was a great game for me. So that's my answer. I was big into medieval and knights and stuff when I was a kid, and pirates even. Like you guys, I know you're into pirates and stuff. So with the Goonies and all that. But yeah, that was a great game. Great question.
Dark Tower.
Yeah. You have to YouTube it, Mike, to see the guy actually play it. It's
look at look at the ad. Look at one of the old ads.
Fascinating.
It is.
The game is fascinating.
It was ahead of its time, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely ahead of its time for when that came out.
I mentioned that in a previous show, but it just came to me. It's just my all-time favorite game. Well, good deal, guys. We appreciate you putting the questions in for us this week. We have one left from Jealous. Hazel will be back next week, and he will memorize the poker rap for everybody. I'll hold it to him.
I played Dark Tower. I played it.
Yes, such a good game. I never could get anybody to play with me because it was a deep game. Took a while to play, but great game. But this is the time we transfer into our Spotify playlist. This is like, a little sprinkling of what maybe all 4 of us here, I guess, like to listen to. And we would like to invite you to listen to it as well. Just search for Guardian Downcast playlist on Spotify and also now iTunes. So as our guests of honor tonight, Sarge, let's start with you. What 2 songs did you pick for tonight?
The 2 songs I picked was Learning to Fly from Pink Floyd, Delicate Sound of Thunder.
Oh, good song.
And the other one is Pictures of You by The Cure.
Oh, why did I not think of that song? What? That's their best song.
Great songs.
That's got to be their best song. Wow. Dude, that's such a flashback for me. Good picks, man. Good picks. 30.
I picked Everybody Wants to Rule the World from Tears for Fears.
Did you really?
Yeah.
How did I not see that? Great song.
And then the other one I did Don't Look Back in Anger from Oasis. And that one has like a real personal thing for me because the person I was dating at the time when I was in high school cheated on me, and so this song really like hit home for me because don't look back on anger and stuff like that. So
right,
just hit me at a time.
Gotcha.
Oh, are we supposed to put why we picked the songs? I didn't know that was.
No,
part of
you can mention. Does The Cure bring back any memories or anything you remember about that song? Or
Yeah, they were both songs that the Pink Floyd thing was basically what's the term? I'll get it. Oh, it's my awakening. When you transition from being a child into being an adult,
Sarge,
like that's what started it for me.
Did you go to the laser light shows?
Absolutely.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Young kids, I'm sorry you don't understand what that is, but it was a great thing. Such a great thing.
The Cure was based off of a first love relationship.
Okay. That's a great song, man. I'm just thinking in my head right now, singing it in my head. Great song. Hazel, sir, what do you got?
I feel bad for some people that don't get the references.
That's okay.
But so because of Rex Manning Day, that was from Empire Records. I absolutely loved this movie when I was growing up.
I just watched it.
Yeah, I watched it again too. And I went with Sugar High by the Coyote Shivers. I mean, there are better songs in there, but just
whatever speaks to you, man. That's how it goes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's music.
And then Hellenbeck by Bakar, I want to say his name is, was a song that just randomly came on my Spotify. I have no idea how the hell it got on there, but it was a nice little jazzy kind of tune. The Motown had a nice vibe to it like that. And I accidentally put these out in the movies and music area.
I saw that. I said, "Are those your picks?" I was about to ask you.
Yeah, so I mean, Flip was like, "Oh," he's like, Flip listened to him, and he's like, "Oh, I like that." So,
Nice
so
man.
yeah,
Nice man, nice.
Yep.
Well, tonight I picked a song that was at the end of one of the morning show's episodes, which just came to mind. I had to put it on my list for the show. This is a fantastic show, by the way, on Apple TV. You got to watch it if you decide to. I think they have like a 14-day trial or something. You might want to just dip into it and sign up for it. And of course, they'll zap your card if you don't cancel in time. Keep that in mind. I think it's 14 days, if I remember correctly. It's from the 2018 album, A 20-something F ** K, from the group 2 Feet. It's I Feel Like I'm Drowning. Really a good groove. It fits that series to a T, by the way. So I think you'll like that one. And my second pick, I chose a song from a group that both my wife and I like to listen, especially if you're wanting to feel good. Sorry, hit 30. This is a fun song.
Yeah, I like fun.
Okay. I want to make
he's
that
anti.
Just not when you're a dictator of a.
I just want to make that clear. All right.
He's anti-fun. You heard it here first.
Yep, you did. From the 2012 album Port of Morrow. It's an oldie but a goodie. It's the Shins with the single Simple Song. Yes, it's a little bit of a happy song, but you remember that song I mentioned earlier, Elbow? They were like a really sleeper group I saw on Later with Jules Holland. It was one of the British shows. It's very much in that same vein. So if you like Elbow, you're going to love the Shins. And unfortunately, they still have some music out there, but they're not as popular as what everybody would think. Hey guys, boys, I think we did it. I think we got one episode 37 in the can. I love that phrase, dude. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we go. Just a quick reminder that we do now have a Destiny 2 clan, and it is a soft launch for now, but we'd like to, you all to be a part of it. So if you're looking for a clan, I'll put a link in our show notes. And, we're going to get together. We're going to have some raid nights, some other surprises too, once this Destiny season ends, and we'll start full bore into our next season. We got some ideas. Me and Hazel are mulling around. Just BS and have a good time. That's all it's all about. So if you're thinking about joining a clan, a Destiny 2 clan, I'll put the link in there. And also we do have a channel called GDC Destiny 2 clan. You can go there for the link as well. Also, we have started a Patreon campaign, and Hazel, if you don't mind, could you reiterate it? Because this is going to start, I believe this one-time donation is going to be in May, so we have a little bit of time here to let everybody know about it.
Yeah, exactly. So basically what it is because of everything that's going on, people getting let go from their works, furloughed, all of that type of shit. The stories have sort of touched me a little bit. So what I did was Gator and I, we put our heads together and we came up with an idea to do a Patreon, which is not going to be your typical Patreon. It's going to be a one-time charge where whatever it is, whatever you sign up for, that kind of thing. And then I'll do a post in May. And then what's going to happen is basically at that point, one time, the funds are going to be withdrawn. It's not going to be that monthly bullshit that they typically do. And then what we're going to do is people have been messaging me saying, hey, can I be eligible for this? And I'm like, sure, definitely. So what we're going to do is we're not taking any money for us. It's all going back to you guys. So, and speaking of that, we actually have a new person that threw in some money, and that was Agent H.
Nice.
So,
thank you, Agent H.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. That's fantastic. And so, yeah, just keep an eye out for that. If it's something you feel like you want to donate to, go for it. If not, then that's fine as well. One person donated $1 to steal the joke that I made last week. And what I told them is basically size doesn't matter, like my wife tells me. So, there you go.
Right. Hey, it's a great deal. And I got to give Hazel all the credit for this. This was his idea. This is something he wanted to do, and I'm all on board. It's a great concept. And hey, we're all affected by what's going on with COVID-19 right now, but there's probably some people that need it a little bit more than we do. So we both donated, and and in May 1st, we'll decide who needs to get it. Go from there. So thanks for that, Hazel. Hey everyone, if you would just do us one little favor, hit that share button when you're listening to this podcast, and share it with one person this week that you might think they might like this show. So I'm going to thank you in advance for that. And speaking of podcast, 30 and Still Gaming, Sergeant McCluskey, why don't you guys tell us about your podcast, where we can find it, and also any details as far as your gamer tags or Twitters or all that good stuff.
I'll do it because it's the same speech I do every week.
Okay, I got you.
Generation X Gaming is a weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. You can follow Sarge at Sarge McCluskey on Twitter. You can follow me at 30 and Still Gaming on Twitter. You can search us on Google. If you put in Generation X Gaming podcast or Generation X Gaming or 30 and Still Gaming, I own like everything. So you type it in and you can come watch us. If you want to watch us live on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. on mixer.com/30 and Still Gaming. And you can always listen to us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm.
Yeah,
wow.
That sounds really professional.
It does, doesn't it?
That before.
Almost like he's done it for a while.
Yeah, like
I think
200 times.
211 times since last night. And I've been watching this podcast since, I think, episode 50. It's been a long time. I've been following you guys for a long time. You got to listen to these guys. It is such an entertaining podcast. And this is all on Mixer, so as 30 said. And I just invite you to listen to just give it a shot. I mean, Hazel gave it one shot and he's hooked. He loves it.
Yeah, if you're out there right now spreading the COVID, right? You can easily spread Generation X Gaming is just as easy, right? So share it with a friend or a loved one.
Yes.
Okay, because that's what it's about.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys.
What we're here for.
I didn't tell you, but thank you guys for coming on tonight. I know it's a big deal getting together for this. So you guys are very busy people. So thank you for that.
No,
yeah,
thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
I was so looking forward to these conversations tonight. I know we're going to go long, and I don't care. I really was just looking forward to this show. Hazel, how can everyone find you, buddy?
Quick and easy. Hazel NT, pretty much everywhere. And aside from that, one thing I did want to throw out there was for Warzone. So yeah, Hazel NT # and 7790350.
My locker combination.
Yeah. I was really trying to go for 8675309.
309, yeah, Rhonda. All right. You can contact me via the Twitter at Todd the Gator. You can also find me on YouTube, Steam, and PS4. GATR, all caps, underscores in between, and Gator, just the same way it's spelled, GDC on Xbox. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Podbean, Stitcher, Pocket Cast is my latest I've been toying with. Anywhere you get your podcast, you can find us. You can also email us at guardiandowncast@gmail.com, and we're on Twitter at guardian_D_cast for any show questions or whatever you want to talk to us about. We're lonely. Talk to us. Talk to us. We have a fantastic Discord as well. Just search for Guardian Downcast, and I'll post a link in our show notes as well. Be safe. Please do your social distancing. Don't take this for granted. We'll be past it soon. We will. We'll be past it. And just like I mentioned earlier today, this will all be past us. It will probably be a distant thought before you know it. So just stay at home. If you don't need to be outside, don't be outside. Let's lessen the curve and be safe.
Best your opponents and survive. Victory is a matter of will.
Thank you all so very much for listening. And later, Guardian.
Toddles.
One of my life's greatest pleasures is to do nothing but bounties to advance my character.
That sounds way too sarcastic.
That's exactly how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You want sarcasm? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
it's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the best. Guys, I tried my hand at trials and I never made it to one win because I was playing some guys named...
Am I supposed to beep that out?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I'll do that.
Because they were really good and had armor that glowed and looked all gold. It was a great 6 hours, though.
And I say, damn it, Gator, to myself?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Damn it, Gator, you gave them too much Kool-Aid. I don't understand. How do I say damn it, Gator?
Because we're too negative. He knows we're negative, and then we're saying all this positive stuff about Destiny that we know we don't like.
Right.
There you go.
No. And the funny part is we're super negative about it. So.
Well, read my line. Read my line, Hazel, so I know the context here. I want to be able to feel it.
Well, yeah. So, damn it, Gator, you gave me too much Kool-Aid.
I say that to myself. I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah, because you've done that before in other bits that we've done. You talk to yourself.
Oh, we're sipping Kool-Aid. Okay,
right,
I'm dumb.
Right, yeah, there you go.
I'm here now. Okay, so we'll make sure there's a big pause where we can all slurp into our mics.
Can I just say this is the most professional podcast I've been on, and I do 2 of them.